Would humanity ever be able to decode an extraterrestrial signal? Would humans be able to interpret an alien message at some point? We will respond to this query in this video. Spoiler alert, the trip will be lengthy. Simple solutions are not acceptable. NASA delivered a radio communication to a star on February 4, 2008. They are aware that this signal, or this message, would have come in 431 years. This message's sender is no longer present. The North Star, Polaris, was the target of the radio message. Then again, why did NASA choose to send it? What else did the signal carry? It was chosen by NASA to communicate with extraterrestrials, and we have always sought to comprehend whether the universe contains other people or not. Someone exists somewhere, right? NASA is curious to know. However, we also want to leave a trace of our presence. In the immensity of space and time, we want someone to know that we were once here. Have you ever tried to visualize how many different species have attempted to communicate with humans but have failed? Just picture how annoying that would be. Our lives appear to have no purpose from this vantage point. It had always been the goal of humanity to understand its own existence. Humans created NASA. To try and locate a receiver, they made the decision to transmit a radio signal to a different star. Just to be clear, if the first signal takes 400 years to reach the star, and if an extraterrestrial is able to intercept it, understand it, and send back a new signal, we can expect to receive it in roughly 800 years. For us, this is a very long period of time, but in terms of cosmic dynamics, it is still very short. A tune was in the transmission. The Beatles' Across the Universe was playing. Do you recognize that tune? They believed it was the ideal tune to honor both the 40th anniversary of the song and the 50th anniversary of NASA. But are we certain that an alien could hear that song? Let's explore our options for comment. Of course, there is a possibility that we are not the only beings in the cosmos. There may be intelligent alien species, and there may be some aliens. How can we be sure they would comprehend what we are attempting to say if they are able to receive and transmit interplanetary radio signals? It has been over 70 years since humanity began its search for radio signals or other types of communication as a means of providing scientific evidence of the existence of sentient life outside of our galaxy. Of course, how do we know that signal was set on intentionally is one of the primary issues. It might just be an organic signal originating from an unidentified star object. Another major issue is this: let's say we receive a stunning signal and we are certain that it originates from aliens. Are we ever going to be able to comprehend it? When will we be able to understand it? Consider the song by the Beatles as an illustration. Since music is universal, you don't need to learn a specific language to communicate. If someone plays a tune, everyone may say, someone is playing a melody. Even if people from different nations have different musical preferences, they will all be able to identify the tune. Were aliens able to hear the music, though? We have a special auditory system. It is the result of an evolutionary process made possible by the fact that we dwell on Earth, and it is sensible to a constrained range of frequencies. The Earth is a planet with an atmosphere made up of specific gases that we observe to be at a particular temperature and pressure. Of course, the planet's distance from the Sun and other factors influence all of this. A significantly different auditory system would most likely arise if just one of these factors changed. Therefore, it is extremely possible that aliens don't have ears as sensitive to frequencies as ours do. Therefore, attempting to communicate through music would be pointless. Even when considering only animals found on Earth, different species have unique auditory systems, while other organisms have a wide range of diverse sensory organs. If you are a dolphin or a bat, the cosmos sounds completely different to you. Therefore, there are more factors at play. Music can't help us talk to each other. Therefore, it would seem that the entire cosmos needs a universal language that all intelligent living forms might understand. Is it conceivable to envision a language like that? It is not entirely obvious, and linguists disagree with one another. But perhaps maths offers some hope. Galileo himself claimed that mathematics is the universal language. Actually, we have previously communicated with other stars via a math message of some form. It was 1974. The Arecibo radio telescope transmitted the most well-known message in human history. If an alien were to ever be able to receive it, he would have difficulty trying to understand it because it contained a sequence of 1679 binary ciphers. First, it should be able to see that 1679 may be broken down into 23 plus 73, which is the only possible manner. The ones and zeros that make up the message must then be placed in a rectangle matrix with 23 rows and 73 columns, he would have to assume. They would then need to turn on the appropriate pixels and attempt to decipher the resulting figure. Of course, this is incredibly challenging. Think of yourself as that alien. Do you believe it would be a simple task? Sincerely, I don't believe that. Here's a visual that conveys the message. The numerals from 1 to 10 are represented by the first set of symbols, which are all white and red from right to left. The atomic numbers for some elements are encoded in the purple cluster in the center. The formulas for the sugars and bases in DNA's nucleotides are represented by these green-colored patterns. The amount of nucleotides in DNA is indicated by the vertical bar in the center, which is white in color. The curved lines that connect the sugars/bases formulas to the human figure are colored blue to symbolize the double helix of DNA. The following group of red symbols shows the number of people on Earth on the left, a human figure in the middle, and the height of a person on the right. The following image is of our solar system, which is shown in white. The Earth representing dot is moved in the direction of the person. Near the bottom of the image, the Arecibo telescope dish, colored blue, is transmitting the message, colored white. The Arecibo radio telescope's diameter is indicated by the final set of symbols, colored yellow. Furthermore, we should be aware that there are human languages that we are currently unable to comprehend. The only symbols in these bizarre, old languages that we can interpret are numbers. It therefore supports the idea that mathematics is a universal language. However, mathematician Hans Freudenthal created the Linkous language in 1960. All communication was to be based on this Linkous, which was intended to be some type of cosmic language. Each word was made up of radio impulses and ever more intricate patterns. A math and logic dictionary with basic operations was the foundation for everything before moving on to more theoretical and complex ideas. The alien message in the movie Contact makes use of a similar rationale. Even MA-based communication, though, takes a certain level of intelligence. For instance, Linkous cannot be used to converse with elephants. Nouns, verbs, singular and plural forms, and words to convey the passage of time are all concepts found in human languages. Do these words, however, originate from our neuroanatomy? Do our interactions with time reflect the fact that we live in a relatively flat region of space-time? Do we have the ability to understand numbers because we perceive ourselves as separate beings from one another? Since we are unable to look into extraterrestrial psychology and understanding, we just do not know at this time. The similarities between human languages across time may not exist between our languages and those of extraterrestrial life. Instrumentation limitations are a final issue with the detection of alien communications. Before we continue, please let us know if you liked or disapproved of the video so that we can keep improving and making these films better for you. The signal would be weak. There is the exposure time problem, which is particularly problematic in the radio frequency. Astronomers use exposure times of minutes, hours, or weeks to seek for signals. It's similar to climbing a hill to capture a photo of the city at night. You mount your camera on a tripod and let the shutter open for 30 or 60 seconds. The modulation, or message, if you will, is then completely lost. For instance, stoplights are visible, but because the shutter was open for a minute, they would all be simultaneously red, yellow, and green. An alien signal might function similarly. The words would blend together because we are taking a lengthy exposure of the message. Until we construct a larger telescope, we may only be able to detect the presence of a signal there. So, it appears that we now have a solution to our original query. Would it ever be possible for us to decipher an ET language? The unknown. A language can be used for more than just communication. It includes elements of our history, culture, and passions and loves. Our minds and bodies are modeled by language. It expresses what is significant to us. Even while we may never be able to decipher a signal, perhaps just seeing what it looks like would help us better understand who we are as a species on this tiny world called Earth. Here's where the video ends. Thank you everybody for watching.